Mr. Howell, how are you, young man? How you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. So you're back across the pond, correct? You call Wales home once again, or are you somewhere else in the UK?
I'm in London, so I'm born in Wales. I'm
Right.
living in London at the moment. Yeah.
And it hasn't made the pit has not made its way across the pond yet.
No, not yet. No, nobody seems to know. Who knows when that's going to happen? Yeah, hopefully soon.
So
Yeah.
you've got a little bit of a reprieve, a little bit of a breather. Nobody's, calling you Huckleberry on the streets or anything like that yet, which is
Yeah.
great. Has it given you time to kind of reflect on this journey? I mean, here we are a week after the finale. We're still talking about this amazing show. Has that kind of given you some time to decompress a little bit?
Yeah, it kind of, I feel slightly lucky to sort of be a little bit distanced from it at the moment. It's quite nice, to yeah, be avoiding the nicknames on the street and medical questions, I imagine. It's good to be dodging a lot of those at the moment, probably. But no, it seems to be doing really well.
You are an amazing reactionary actor. And I
Oh.
found it really interesting that you studied improvisation kind of at an early age. And
Yeah.
improv doesn't necessarily always mean comedy, though. So I want to speak about both, but can you talk about what improv taught you about drama and how to react to things?
I have never been asked that before. Yeah, I trained as a child in sort of it was an after school club that most of it was devised stuff or improvisation. So that was sort of just that was my bread and butter. I sort of didn't know anything different. We didn't really do script studies or anything like that, that didn't come till later. But yeah, I mean, how is it? I think it's useful for anyone really. It just sort of gives you a lot of confidence when, the script isn't always there to support you. It just can make you a bit more free. I don't know. That's a really good question. I wouldn't class myself as an improviser though, because my God, like if I watch professional improvisers, I feel like that's just a whole other level. But what I've taken from it, it just gives you a lot of freedom when, you get to the end of a scene sometimes, and sometimes they don't say cut. So it's just you have to sort of try and keep the scene going, and it sort of switches off the scariness of that a little bit. It kind of gives you a little bit of comfort and like a safety blanket, I guess. That's a good way to put it.
What I love is seeing kind of the generations of Welsh actors that we've had, and now
Yeah.
you've been launched into the stratosphere with the success of this show. This new generation of young Welsh actors, do you feel like there is an identity with you guys?
We have a fantastic sort of infrastructure in Wales that does sort of support a lot of artists and especially people in the film and TV industry. We have Film Cymru and we have BAFTA Cymru and stuff, and they're always funding things. But yeah, it's interesting. I've never really thought about that. It's kind of interesting when you come to America, and to be honest, you do get labeled as the Brit, and to a Welshman that can sting quite a little bit, and you do find yourself maybe having to just correct a little bit sometimes, but it doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, identity and my connection to Wales will never go away, and I like to think that all the greats that have done it always pay it back to Wales. Michael Sheen, he's always working in Wales still, and I believe he set up a Welsh National Theatre Company, I think, in the last sort of month. And I think he's sort of heading that. So it's always important to remember where you come from, yeah, for sure. But I'm proud to be a Welshman doing something in the States, I suppose.
And yeah, I totally understand because it's the same thing. If a Canadian is ever called American, it stings a
Yes.
little bit. Yeah, yeah. So that kind of brings me to the technical chaos of this show. First and foremost, you have to learn, just like everybody else, all of these medical terms. You have to be able to kind of spout them off.
Yeah.
and sound like you know what you're saying. You have the added challenge of the accent. Now, I know a lot of people from the UK, a lot of actors, it's kind of just part of them because they're subjected to the American accent growing up so much. Did you
Yeah.
find it was an added challenge having to learn these terms in the accent as well, or was it just kind of second nature at that point?
I think there's a little bit built into us where we've grown up with a lot of American TV, obviously, but I will say it was a challenge. You can sort of get away with casual conversation, but when you get, yeah, some of those words are hard to pronounce just in the English language, let alone in American accents. So I had lots of people calling me out on stuff, thankfully. It's never going to be perfect. But there are always people there to call me out on that stuff. So, yeah, it was a bit of both, really. I think for a lot of Brits, it comes naturally, but yeah, there were some challenges with the lingo for sure.
Speaking of challenges, I found it really interesting that I've talked to some of the other cast members, and Taylor specifically was praising JoJo, your DP,
Oh, yeah.
and you also came from 1917. And here, I mean, that's a technical marvel in terms of a film. You have Roger Deakins, who's the creme de la creme. So
Yeah.
what do you get as an actor when you have something that, in a sense, is thriving on chaos, on technical, I wouldn't say perfection, but maybe technical choreography? What do you get as an actor out of that?
That's a really great question. I think some people thrive on it, but yeah, for us it really worked because it's the language of the show, is the chaos of it and the non-stop nature of it. So I think as soon as we all got used to that pace and everything, it really upped the pressure and informed the tone of everything. I really loved it. Like as soon as we did any trauma scenes, acting in a way almost goes out of the window, and you are just you're saving a life on the table, in an imaginary circumstances, but it can really actually take a load off and sort of get you out of your head, all that chaos personally. So I really appreciated it. Yeah.
Looking to the future, I know you guys have very little time. Apparently, there's only a couple months until you're back in LA and you're shooting once again. What do you think we're going to see in terms of Whitaker? Because I love that very early on in the first season, he doesn't necessarily stand up for himself at any point. There's even a scene where Robbie borrows his pad and he's kind of like, wait, and he doesn't say anything. He gets it
Mhm.
back later. Do
Yeah.
you think that even the coupling with Issa's character, where we see the fact that they're now going to live together, do you think she's going to teach him to stand up for himself? Do you think we're going to see a stronger Whitaker in season two?
Yeah, that relationship is naturally going to cause a lot of conflict. I can't see it being an easy ride for both of them. But, it's one of those relationships where maybe they can learn from each other in different ways. I think they've definitely both got walls up in different ways. So, if it goes ahead, I would like to see just an exploration of that. I'm really intrigued to see what that dynamic will be. I think it's definitely a big sibling energy, but it could be disastrous or it could be really good for both of them. I'm not sure what. Yeah, yeah,
I think it's really interesting how each character teaches everybody about themselves. I know the show obviously focuses on medical workers and frontline workers, but there's something, and must be the success of the show is what would lead to the success of the show, that we all learn something about ourselves through these characters. Robbie really teaches us about dealing with trauma, things like that. What do you think Whitaker has taught people in the first season?
he symbolizes just the day from hell and the first day from hell, I should say. um, and he just gets things thrown at him again and again and again. So I hope people learn that, people can still bend without breaking in extreme ways. And it's not always about what you do and the skills you have and you learn, but also just turning up and carrying on. I hope people take away that, just that there's a perseverance thing there, and just turning up is sometimes enough, I guess.
Last question, because I know about the wall of GERRAN people are talking about now, which
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
is the makeup trailer, correct? Might I recommend, because the show, I mean, one of the best sequences was, the cast or the characters betting on who was going to return the ambulance or who stole it in the first place and things like that. Might I suggest for charity, maybe a 50-50 draw where the show opens up a pool about possibly what you're going to be covered with next.
I think, yeah, a bingo card, I think, needs to be handed out with just bodily fluids, I think. Then a scrubs tally. Yeah.
Yeah, how many scrubs are you to go through? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Garen, once again, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on an amazing season, and rest up while you can because season two is just around the corner. So best of luck with that.
Thank you so much, man. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Mike. Really, really cool questions. I appreciate that.
Hey Real students, thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe to Real School, click that round Real School logo right beside me. Also click that damn notification bell so you're aware of all of Real School's new content. You can follow me on Twitter, and of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link in the description below or the button down there, and you can become part of my Patreon team.